in the heart of New York City. The afternoon rush painted the streets with urgency as people moved quickly between meetings, taxis, and towering glass buildings. Emily Carter, a well-known CEO, stepped out of her car while speaking sharply on a call. Her attention split between business and time. Without noticing, her purse slipped from her arm and fell near the edge of the parking lot. Moments later, a man in simple worn clothes approached quietly. It was Daniel, a single father who had just finished a long shift nearby. He picked up the purse carefully and walked toward her with calm, respectful steps, calling out just enough to get her attention without causing a scene. Emily turned, slightly irritated at the interruption, but her expression softened when she realized what had happened. She took the purse quickly, offering a brief, polite thank you before turning back to her conversation. But as Daniel nodded and prepared to leave, his old wallet slipped from his jacket pocket and fell open onto the ground. Papers shifted and a small photograph slid halfway out. Emily's eyes caught it instantly. Something about it felt strangely familiar. Almost impossible, she stepped forward without thinking and bent down, picking up the photo before Daniel could react. Her breath paused for a moment as she stared at it. It was a picture of her as a young girl, smiling brightly in a park she hadn't thought about in years. Confusion quickly replaced surprise. Her brows tightened as she looked up at Daniel, her tone shifting from curiosity to suspicion. She questioned him directly, asking how he got that photo and why he had it. The calm atmosphere from seconds ago vanished. Daniel froze for a brief moment, clearly caught off guard. His eyes flickered with hesitation, as if weighing whether to explain or remain silent, without answering immediately. He reached out gently and took the photo back, placing it inside his wallet with care. His movements were slow, controlled. Almost protective, Emily felt a mix of emotions rising: unease, disbelief, and a hint of anger. In her world, nothing was random, and coincidences like this didn't make sense. She stepped closer, pressing for answers, but Daniel simply lowered his gaze and said it was something personal. His voice was calm, yet firm enough to close the conversation. That response only deepened the mystery. Emily watched him as he turned and walked away, blending back into the busy city like he had never been there at all. But the image of that photograph stayed in her mind, refusing to fade, leaving her with questions she could not ignore. That evening, the memory of the photograph refused to leave Emily's mind, replaying over and over until it drowned out even her busiest thoughts. Important emails went unanswered, and meetings felt distant, as her focus drifted back to that single moment in the parking lot. Determined to understand the truth, she used her resources to locate Daniel. It didn't take long. His life was simple, predictable, and far removed from her world. She found him outside a modest apartment building, in a quieter part of the city, sitting on a worn bench while his young daughter played nearby. The scene was calm, almost fragile, and it made Emily hesitate for the first time. Still, she approached him, her confidence returning as she called his name. Daniel looked up, surprised but not alarmed. His daughter glanced curiously at Emily before continuing to play. Emily wasted no time and asked him again about the photograph, her voice more controlled, but still carrying urgency. For a moment, Daniel remained silent, watching his daughter, as if gathering his thoughts from somewhere deep in the past. Then he sighed softly, a quiet acceptance settling over him. He gestured for Emily to sit, and though she hesitated, she did. The city noise felt distant as he finally began to speak. He told her about a day many years ago in a crowded park, where a little girl had wandered too far from her parents. She had been frightened, lost among strangers, and on the verge of tears. Daniel, much younger at the time, had noticed her and stayed by her side, calming her, making sure she felt safe. He had waited with her patiently until her parents arrived, their panic turning into overwhelming relief. As a thank you, they had given him a small photograph of their daughter, a simple gesture of gratitude that he had quietly kept all these years. He never expected to see her again. Emily listened, her expression slowly changing as the pieces came together. The memory surfaced clearly now, the fear the stranger who had stayed with her, the sense of safety she had felt without understanding why. Her voice softened as she asked one final question, though she already knew the answer. Daniel simply nodded. The realization hit her deeply. The man she had questioned, even judged, was someone who had once protected her, without asking for anything in return. In that quiet moment, the distance between their worlds disappeared, replaced by a connection she had never known existed.